win. Unbelievable from everyone. Unbelievable. I don't even know where we finished. Unbelievable.
And to think that just 5 years later, this is the same team that decided to hire this bellend and put him in a car that wouldn't be updated over an entire season. Hey there guys, and welcome to FP1. And today, if you haven't figured it out already, I want to talk about everybody's favourite team on the grid right now. And by everyone, I mean everyone whose name ends in Mazepin. In the grand scheme of things, the Haas Formula One team have only graced the F1 grid for a short space of time. However, the outfit that once sat on the top end of the midfield now finds itself at the very back of the order, with a repair bill that already looks set to rival Jeffree Star's plastic surgery fees. Before we dive into what led us here, I just want to thank you all for the fantastic start of 2021 we've had so far. And if you're liking the videos and not yet clicked on that subscribe button, please make sure you do so, as it really helps me out. I've got one massive announcement to make at the end of this video this week, so please do stay tuned right to the end so you can find out all about it. But without further ado then, let's chat about the Araucali Haas Formula One team, and more specifically, where it all went wrong. So I've gone over the history of Haas before, so rather than bore you with it all again, here's a very quick overview. If you do want to see a more detailed account of this show, then I'll leave a link to my early videos on them down in the description. But in short, Haas were founded by a man called Gene Haas, who permanently looks like someone's just shot each member of his family, and also Gunther Steiner, whose key personality trait is managing to swear even more than me. The team hit the ground running in their first season in the sport in 2016. Signing Romain Grosjean from Lotus and the world's most forgettable driver in Esteban Gutierrez, the American outfit surprised a lot of people in their maiden campaign. The team finished 8th in the standings ahead of Renault, Sauber and Manor, mostly thanks to Grosjean, who picked up 5 top 10 finishes over the course of that year. 2017 was even better, as Gutierrez was replaced with ball-sucking expert Kevin Magnussen, and the two racked up several strong results over the campaign. Haas would finish 8th once again, but with almost double the points they'd racked up the previous season. The 2018 season would be the team's high point, designing a car which looked suspiciously like the 2017 Ferrari. I wonder where I've seen that one before. The American outfit were impressive over the entire season. Their best finish would have been at the season opening Australian Grand Prix, with both cars high up in the top 10. But this was before the team began to look like a
fucking bunch of wankers,
and both K-Mag and Rogro's tyres decided to fall off their cars. The team would be in the fight for 4th in the championship all season long, though they'd eventually have to settle for P5 come season's end. But despite this strong start, this is quite frankly the end of the positives when it comes to Haas, and the beginning where everything begins to go to shit. The team's success in 2018 saw totally legit businessman William Story agree a deal for his company Rich Energy to become the title sponsor of the outfit in 2019. Now again, I've covered this all before, but big shock here, Rich Energy couldn't pay up. The deal broke down mid-season and the team ended up looking like utter clowns, before looking like clowns was made cool by Ferrari. 28 points and 9th in the championship would become, at least at the time, the team's worst season on record. But since then, things have gone downhill faster than James Charles' subscriber count. 2020 saw Haas build a car with one key flaw. Problem was, that flaw happened to be the fact that the car was unfucking drivable. Grosjean and Magnussen managed only 2 points finishes over the whole year, with the only positive of the season being that Romain wasn't burnt alive in Bahrain. And though that's a, well, pretty big damn positive, you then look at the negatives and realise that the list is longer than my 10,000 word university dissertation, and probably just as painful to read as well. Only 3 points over the entire season, brakes which just didn't work, a Ferrari engine about as capable as a dead racehorse. Need I really go on? And that brings us up to present day, where Haas have ditched their 2 experienced drivers for 2 rookies, and one of which who's made more laps around people's breasts than he has a racetrack. That was on the limit. Add to that the fact that they've decided to get their American fans on side by racing a car draped in the Russian flag. Quite frankly, the situation right now benefits absolutely no one, as an opportunity to get the most out of the son of one of the greatest drivers of all time appears to have been completely wasted. So let's now break down each of the problems Haas have faced over the last few years and see if we can figure this shit show out. Firstly, let's talk about Rich Energy, that company that set all these events in motion. The scandal may look like nothing in comparison to the troubles the team face now, but the way both Haas and Story handled themselves over this period was diabolical, with it looking more like something you'd see out of a primary school playground. At the end of the day though, the only winners were Story and Rich Energy, who ran away with plenty of headlines and the attention they wanted in the first place. Haas, meanwhile, were made to look like idiots, especially after it became clear that two other F1 teams, Force India and Williams, had seen through Story's ruse at the start and turned the British businessman down. Haas found themselves in all the wrong headlines, and from a marketing perspective, well, that isn't good. Combine that with a lack of expected funds in the team's bank account, and we're left with a dreadful season, with just 1 point score in the second half of that year's championship. And these results, where you only end up on the live TV feed if you bin it in the wall, won't appeal to any potential sponsors or investors. Now, in the modern era of Formula One, it's incredibly easy to fall off the pace, but then 10 times harder to catch back up again. And there's this knock-on effect from 2019 that led to 2020 managing to be even worse for the American outfit. And if things couldn't get any worse, this coincided with Ferrari deciding to find a loophole in the regulations, which was closed up prior to the season, taking their engine from championship contention to a heap of utter garbage. So add this all up together and you end up with what we got in 2020, with the team lucky to escape top meme status were it not for the Scuderia being equally as shit. And this brings us up to our second point, Haas's team and management structure. The organisation has made clear over its short tenure in Formula One that loyalty rests at the heart of the company, and that's lovely if you live in the land of ponies and pasta Maldonado. In reality, Formula One is a cutthroat sport, and if you can't perform, then you're out. Simple as that. Now, is that a nice working environment? No, probably not. But it's the environment that leads to championship success. If Red Bull decide to stick with Scott Speed, would they really have won 4 back-to-back world titles? And the answer again is no. Haas have failed to realise this, and it's really hurt them over the last few years. Yeah, Gunther Steiner might be good in front of Netflix cameras and maybe funny when he gets a bit sweary in the paddock, but should he really still be running the show after all the troubles the team have faced so far? That high point in 2018 was a long time ago, and was also the perfect opportunity to shake things up, using Haas's upwards trajectory to sign on some new talent and improve the team in all areas. Instead, the outfit have waited too late, and that leads me to my final point. Haas's overall decision making. Managing to sign Mick Schumacher was a big win for the team, and one that could have got them the massive boost they need from a marketing front. Problem would end up being the driver they placed next to him. Now, the obvious aside that Mazepin is a bit of an all-round dickhead, placing a second rookie next to Schumacher is no good to anybody. Bear in mind that the team had never dealt with even one rookie driver in the team before, never mind 2. And at a time where we're about to enter a brand new set of technical regulations where experience will be key in finding an advantage. The best option here would have been for Haas to either sign Mick or the dickhead, and then place them alongside either Grosjean or Magnussen, both of whom were not bad drivers and bring with them plenty of experience. They could help nurture the rookie in the other seat while still providing the crucial data that the team need heading into the rules shake-up. But the poor decision making doesn't stop there, as we now get onto the more obvious point of signing on possibly one of the most hated F1 drivers in recent memory. Let me put it to you this way. The American team, with a lot of American sponsors and American fans, decided that the best course of action was to sign a deal with a Russian company, sign on a Russian driver, and then paint the car in the Russian flag. Now, if you want to piss off America, well, there's your roadmap right there. Now, before you go down in the comments and tell me that there was no other option, well, that may not necessarily be true. Okay, the pandemic has made sports such as Formula One less appealing to companies who are still trying to stay afloat as it is, but Williams were able to cobble together a similar deal in the same time frame, and one that was far less controversial at that. And finally, let's quickly touch on the team's decision to not develop their car over this year. Now, this approach has worked before. Think back to 2008, where Honda focused all the development on the 2009 regulation changes, and what we ended up with was Brawn GP, who won both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships that year. The thing is, times have changed a lot since that season, and this approach will no longer give you such a significant gain, especially if you haven't got the right team on board as we've already seen. Not to mention that using a dog of a car all season will only hinder the rookies even more, and possibly even cause irreversible damage to their careers on a whole. So I guess to summarise, let's answer that question in the title. What went wrong with the Haas Formula One team? And to put it simply, it comes down to 3 main things: dodgy sponsorship deals, dodgy team management, and dodgy decision making. For me, the team began to fall apart once that deal was signed with Rich Energy, and from there a series of mistakes and oversights on the team's part led to what we see today, a situation where, if rumours are to be believed, Gene Haas will sell the team to Mazepin, who will in turn bring back William Story into the fold. What a mess that will be. Now, before we go, I do quickly want to bring you back to what I said at the start, and more specifically, that big announcement I mentioned. Myself, along with 3 other F1 YouTubers, John Warren, Dylan James GP, and Moto Meerkat, have all partnered up with rising star Ethan Davis, as he prepares for his transition up into single-seaters over the next year. In the future, we'll have some really exciting content going out on the channel, and hopefully a competition or two as well. Down in the description, I've left a link to Ethan's fundraiser, so if you want to help him out with his campaign, you can donate over there. I don't want to give away too much in terms of the future content just yet, but just know there's some really exciting plans going on in the works, and I can't wait to show them all to you. I would, while you're down there, if you could leave a like on the video, it would really help me out, and also drop a comment as the YouTube algorithm is thriving off that at the moment. And as always, if you want to hear even more from me, then you can check out my Twitter or Discord, all links for which can be found down in the description below. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you all in the next one.